Hi, Santi's back. How are you doing? I'm going to talk about he's on my shirt. The Grim Reaper. This shirt is like an all around Halloween, you name it, everything. I got my big spider web with the crystals I put on it and my spider crown, and you name it, everything's here. Big spiders on my shirt and jack-o'-lanterns celebrating it perfectly. I have all the costumes without just wearing one. I feel like I'm wearing them all. Okay, the Grim Reaper is a skeletal figure. He is a dark-hooded, let me get to the dark-hooded, carrying a scythe. I don't know if I'm saying it, but I think so. How he got started was the 14th century in Europe and was dealing with the pandemic at the time, Europe was. And Europe called it the Black Death. And they believed to be the result of resulting into a plague was the Black Death. And the skeletons were symbols of death. And of course they are. It's pretty much after we've left our solid bodies, and it's what remains that evidently eventually goes to ashes and so forth back to earth. So it is the human body that basically has decayed down to the skeleton. The robe that this Grim Reaper wore was reminiscent of religious figures. The robes were used and worn when conducting funeral services way back in time. Everything that the Grim Reaper had, like his robe and his scythe, was reminiscent of mysteries, evil forces, menace, the unknown, things that are hiding, and things that you just can't see. Of course, those are things that are hiding. It was the mysterious part of the unknown and unseen side. The scythe itself is an agricultural used tool, and it was practiced back in the day with the harvesters using it to reap the harvest crops, ready to be plucked from the earth, like humans when they die. So that also was part of the death type thing, was using that thing to dig the dirt up. And it's kind of the same thing, only man goes back to the dirt or back to ashes or back to the fire. The scepter also that he used, or the scythe, drew the soul from the body. And he also used a crooked finger stuck out of the robe, a crooked bony finger, to tell you that, to help guide your soul to the next realm. He also may have had, instead of the scythe or a scepter, he may have had arrows, darts, spears, and crossbows, identifying him as well, or with him as well. So he wanted depicted as guiding your soul to the next realm. Not saying that really bones and ashes were the end of it, but that you would move on to another realm and you would still be alive. Some of the same ideas the Egyptians had, that you would live on. In modern times, the Grim Reaper, who was really originally just called the Reaper back during, the Dark Ages, the Black Death, in modern times, around the 19th century, he appeared, and that's what he was called, the Grim Reaper. They named him the Grim Reaper. I'm not sure why, except probably put him in movies and so forth to reclassify him beyond the Reaper part to the Grim Reaper. He also, an hourglass is identified with him too. It has 2 glass bulbs containing sand, and usually they last an hour. And the meaning is like passage of time, and that everyone's days are numbered. And so it was scary because it looks at you that, yeah, your days are numbered. Well, we all know that. They're numbered from leaving this lifetime to the next. We don't live in this body forever. The body would never hold up doing that. Recent souls, they went to the afterlife, become animals and crows and owls, sparrows, and whippoorwills. They believe that happened, that when people went to the afterlife, there again with the crows and the ravens, that they could turn into those different kind of birds. And that was called psychopomps. Psychopomps is the word meaning that. Souls going into the afterlife and they become animals. That was a belief as well. I don't necessarily have that belief. I believe we keep on going in our current energy and we evolve to a higher level, not going backwards. But, you just don't really know at this point because you're here on Earth in this body. Also, clowns. They kind of got a different name here. Clowns used to be a symbol of fun at the circus and this and that. But with movies made about clowns, they became evil stories against people and really bad stuff, and also represented fear. The whole thing of all of this stuff here is to present itself into your life as fear if you let it. You don't have to, but in movies and so forth, that's what happens. And, if you're afraid of something, you have a tendency to draw things to you and a tendency to use your imagination in the wrong ways. So the whole thing is a total lesson. Yes, our days are numbered. Nobody takes our soul. We have our own soul that carries with us forever. And yeah, we live forever in a different way. And clowns aren't evil unless you make them that way. You depict them that way. Okay, so that's pretty much what all that is about. And robes today are robes. I mean, you wear a robe, you just wear a robe. For whatever you're doing. Doesn't necessarily mean you're hiding anything, Heaven's sakes, maybe your nudity, I don't know. But anyway, that's the story on that. I am going to draw a few cards here to complete this Grim Reaper dude. Jeez. He's not visiting me, I'll tell you that much. All right, what we have is, this is funny. We got the witch, and I'd gotten her before, and she's saying healing. Maybe all this stuff tells us that, yeah, we need to be healed. We're too afraid of crap. Get over it. And the healing, part of the healing is, there goes them contacting me again with itching. Part of the healing is getting rid of fear, Fear is the main thing that will do in everything. It will stop you cold. It will turn you into a mannequin or a skeleton by itself. If you have fear, you have darkness. And in the dark, you can't see and you can't move. All right, let's get another one. Let's see what we got here. Mr. Grim Reaper. All right, this one is saying we hadn't pulled before. Getting balance in your life. When you get balance and you're not going half-cocked and goofy and doing crazy things and riding the side of the teeter-totter that falls crashing to the ground, you can choose this. You can choose a balance in your life. When to rest, when to move, when to make decisions, when not to. When to talk, when not to talk. So all these things, plus a lot more, are part of balance. All right, let's do one more for the Reaper, and we will see what we